Hi Cancer, how are you? Welcome back to my channel and happy March to you all. I hope you had a really good January and February so far, and I hope you're gonna have an even better March. But this month I'm gonna do it a little differently. And the reason is because we have Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Pisces. The sign of Pisces is a very sensitive sign. It's a very dreamy sign, and it can be very like touchy-feely. And when Mercury is in retrograde, the planet of communication in a sign, and a very sensitive sign, and a very full of emotion sign, I think there's a high risk of being hurt by things that are being said, and not only that, but maybe things weren't said intentionally, but they were just maybe misunderstood. So this month I'm gonna do just a love reading. I'm gonna focus just on love and relationships this month, and I just wanted to provide you some extra help on how to navigate this time, because relationships are so important to all of us, and sometimes they're the hardest ones to really approach. So I just want to give you some extra help and insight and how to move forward this month. And then so the retrograde is going to happen from March 5th through the 28th, or March 6th through the 28th. So it's a pretty long time to deal with, miscommunications, delays, and misunderstandings. So I'm just going to pull some cards for you for beginning of the month, middle of the month, and then at the end of the month, and with some clarifiers at the end, and we'll see what comes up for you, Cancer. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to switch the camera so you can see the cards. So we have Three of Cups in reverse. Okay. The Fool. So that's the beginning of the month for you guys. And then we have the Chariot in reverse. Okay. Queen of Swords. The Lovers in reverse. The Six of Swords, wow, okay. The Ace of Cups in reversed. Eight of Swords in reversed, and then Justice upright. And then the bottom we have the Five of Swords. Well, Cancer, you have a lot of swords coming up for you, which means that it really is going to be a month full of communication. Be it good, be it bad, I don't know. We'll have to see, and it's all up to you how you make it. But in any case, there's going to be a lot of communication, and because there's going to be a lot of communication because of the retrograde, and I don't want to be cliche about this, but especially the water signs, I think I'll be more prone to having a hard time during this month, just because they're so emotional and they're so caring and so kind and giving, that it's going to be really easy to take something that's been said and blow it out of proportion. So for you this month, communication is going to be key, and how you communicate, how you understand communication, and how you relate to what's being said to you. Are you really over-exaggerating what's being said, or are you really taking it for face value? So, that's going to be kind of a lot of the big things for you this month. Now, in the beginning of the month, we have the Three of Cups in reverse, the Fool, and the Chariot in reverse. Three of Cups to me, when it comes to relationships, I take that as committing to one option. To me, that is almost like, when you, especially for you that are dating, when you have too many options, I think this is going to be the card of like really sticking to one choice and kind of going for it. Because then we have the Fool, right? So the Fool is like, he made a choice and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go for it, but see at the bottom, the snake is right next to his foot. I think with this, it's going to be really careful of how you go about things, because if you like rush into something, And if you really gonna like, oh no, I made my choice, I made my decision, I know who I'm gonna go with, I know who I'm gonna commit from all of these options that I have, I know who I'm gonna go with. Well, we have the Chariot coming through next, which kind of asks you to slow down, and don't go too fast, because I think there's a chance of like you being swept off your feet by somebody, by their behavior, by what they're saying and how they're like, oh, it's you, it's only you that I want. But then at the end, it's like, if you see, the horses are still like, they are ready. Whenever they're done, they are ready to go. So I think this is beginning of the month is going to be really, really important for you to not rush into things. And even something you're like, oh, I'm ready. Take a step back and then just give it just a little bit of extra time. Just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit of extra time, because you will know that maybe things that you were so ready to commit to, maybe it wasn't quite so good of a choice. And then in the middle of the month we have the Queen of Swords, and I think to me this is a beautiful card to see, because you're going to be able to see through the bullshit, through the things that have been said to you, and you're going to be able to discern like the people that were the partners and the potential dates that are worthwhile and the ones that are not. Now, for you that are in relationships, I think the beginning of the month would be more about maybe trying something new, or maybe like something sorry, I got distracted because I just noticed on this card, if you see in the back, see like the Fool is being distracted by these two people, and he's the snake is just right there, just waiting just for the right time to catch him, So to me, it's like almost like what glitters, all that glitters is like, it's the surface. But when you start peeling the layers, it's more to it than just that. It might not be exactly what it's been sold to you as is. And then that's going kind of back to the singles. But talking about you that are in relationships, I think maybe for some of you might want to like try something new in the bedroom. But you might be like, yeah, I don't know. There might be a little bit of pushback about it from your partner. Yeah, I think it's mostly that comes through. It's for the singles currently, but we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the month. So now we said mid-month we're starting with the Queen of Swords, which is kind of, she knows what she wants, she knows how to go about things, and then see, she's already like setting intentions for her king, for her emperor. She has her eyes on somebody. So for you that are singles, I think for you it's going to be mid-month. It's going to be a really good time to set intentions and to really make a list of things that you would want in a partner. That's kind of exciting because, she's just like in her power. She's so strong and feminine and like powerful in just being with herself. And yes, she wants this person, but it doesn't mean that she needs that person. So for you that are wanting to manifest a relationship, mid-month is going to be a really good time for you to really sit down and really journal and really set intentions for the partner that you want and be as detailed as possible. Sometimes with manifesting, the more detailed we are, the better it is. But the caveat to it is that you kind of have to be open that it might not come exactly like that. So as long as you're okay with that, that's good, And then we have the Lovers in reversed. Now, the Lovers in reversed in this particular deck, it's somebody that's committing to one option. So I feel like with the Queen of Swords and with the Lovers in reversed, I think going back again to you singles and the people that are dating currently, I think this is, once you set your intention, once you commit to like what you really want, you're gonna know, you're gonna see things start happening for you, and you're gonna see people manifesting themselves, and really they wanted to commit to you, and them dropping other people that they've been dating for you, And then we have the Six of Swords in reverse, and it's funny because Pisces got exactly in the same position these two cards, which is really odd to me because I did shuffle the cards really well. So that means, I think, so far for the water signs, I think commitment to an option is going to be big, and especially for you that are dating. And then with the Six of Swords, it's somebody that is kind of like, in a way, like that behavior of sneaking around, that behavior of like, not being out in the open with the relationship, maybe just like maybe holding back the relationship just because it was in the budding stages and they weren't sure if they wanted to be with you, if they don't want to be with you because they're juggling other people. I think that it's going to be a time where they're going to commit, and then they're going to be like, no, this I want you. And then maybe they will start introducing you to their friends group, to their family. So expect some of that stuff happening. And then it's also a time of like communication about you really like taking the relationship out of the shadows, so to speak, into like the public. Then we're moving into the end of the month. So we have the Ace of Cups in reversed, we have the Eight of Swords in reversed, and we have Justice. Well, let's see what we got. So with the Ace of Cups in reversed, I feel like for some of you that are coupled, I think this is where the message for the couples comes through, is that there might be something at the end of the month that will happen that will make you feel a little bit unfulfilled in the relationship, that will make you feel like maybe you're giving too much and the other person not enough. And it doesn't have to be with any other people, it's just a matter of like how you feel in the relationship, and that's normal, especially I think for some of you that have been in long relationships. I think sometimes it's a natural state, and like maybe trying something new, something different, maybe being bored with the routine, maybe it's just kind of being with a person for that long, it's becomes monotone. So I think that's for you, for some of you that are in relationships, like be careful at the end of the month and not to give in to temptation, especially with the Eight of Swords over here. Like I don't know if you noticed, like the little creature here lurking around, while they're doing the deed. So I think with these two, it's going to be, let me reverse it, with the Ace of Cups and then with the Ace of Swords. So I feel it's almost like maybe be careful what you think, or at the end of the month, be careful of your thoughts and be careful of how you communicate those thoughts, because you can like be your own worst enemy at this point. And if you are in a committed relationship, and if it's you feel like the passion is dying down, yes, do have a conversation, but be careful how you have this conversation. Maybe you want to wait till the end of the month, like maybe even like going into April when this retrograde is over, because you're going to feel like really, really emotional during that time, and you might feel kind of playing the blame game too, versus, oh, you didn't do this, or you didn't do enough, but I did so much. So I think, really, really be careful around that time, and because you don't want to self-sabotage a relationship that is still working. And then for some of you, maybe you will realize that maybe a relationship this really no longer is fulfilling, no longer is bringing you the joy and the love that you wanted. So you're going to be looking to other avenues to fill that, and for you that are singles, I think coming off of this Six of Swords, energy, Six of Swords reversed energy, and having the Ace of Cups, I feel like it's more about, and if you notice, in both of these, the woman is on the bottom and the man is on top. So I feel it's more about kind of like the message that I'm hearing. It's really not waiting for the man to really fill your cup, not waiting for the partner to really be that person to really make you happy. And you're like realizing that, no, I have as much say in this relationship, and it's up to me to make this relationship work. And if I am not happy with myself, how can I make somebody else happy? So it's almost like realizing that for you, in order to really have a sustainable, long-lasting relationship, you have to fill the cup on your own. You have to be happy first. You have to be loving yourself first, and before you really are able to love somebody. And you don't need anybody else to make you feel happy. It's, you're really the only one. And then we have the Justice upright to end the month, and another 8. Well, Justice is about, I feel like for some of you, with this too, I think for some of you, you're going to realize that maybe really the relationships you were in were not fulfilling, and then you're going to speak up, and you're going to realize that maybe being on your own is really the right choice right now. For you that are dating, I feel you're going to be like coming from like the mid-month where it's going to be commitment. It's going to be a big important part for you, committing to one option, committing to one person. You might want to really take that commitment to a next level, so it could be about that. It could be about that. But let's clarify. Let's see what comes through with the clarifiers. Okay, let's see. Oh, Justice in reverse. We're starting the month with the Justice in reverse, clarifying 3 of Cups. So I feel like, with the 3 of Cups and the Justice in reverse, both of them in reversed, I feel like it's going to be more about tipping the scales to one option versus the other, and also maybe something that wasn't fair to you, it's gonna slowly dissipate, so it's about like the choice that is not for you. You're gonna see it for what it is, and you're gonna be able to kind of dodge the bullet there. Why do we have the Fool? And the Fool, the 5 of Pentacles. Well, I think this is what we were saying before with, like, because he's so distracted by those 2 lovers, he can really have, like that snake. And I think this is more about that mentality of like, well, everybody's coupled up, everybody has such beautiful relationships, and I don't have that, and I feel like left out, and everybody in my friends group are having children or like are having these beautiful relationships, but I'm single, I'm by myself, and you're going to be really tempted to maybe even start something new just for the sake of not being alone. But you really have to think about that. Is that something that you really want to do or not? And then we have the 4 of, I love cards. Sometimes they really call you out and they really confirm what you're saying. So we have the 4 of Swords clarifying the Chariot. It's like, slow down. Like that Fool that you're like, oh, you really rush in just because you're feeling left out, because you're feeling everybody's coupled up and you're not. That you like really want to rush into a relationship. You want to rush into making a decision and picking a date or a partner. But these two really ask you in the beginning of the month, slow down, don't make any choices yet, don't rush into a relationship just yet. And this is really when we're gonna start having the Mercury in retrograde, and this is where, that's why they're asking you to really slow down, don't rush into anything, and don't commit to anything just yet, because any relation is gonna be started around the Mercury retrograde. They really have a potential of having this veil of everything is beautiful and perfect because you want it to be that. But they might lack substance. Really, after the retrograde is over, you'll realize that things are just for the surface, you know. Okay, so let's see. For the Queen of Swords, we have Death. You know, I think this is where I think to me it's more about old patterns that you're letting go of. You know, so I think like during mid-month, and this is right in the thick of the retrograde, I think this is where you kind of like what I said before with like the meditation and setting intentions. I think this is where it's going to be really important for you to be aware of your old patterns of how you act in relationships, how you allow yourself to be treated in relationships, how you communicate in relationships, and then letting go of those things that are not serving you, and then focusing on the things that you're excited about, focusing on, you know, manifesting this beautiful, you know, partner that you want, versus you know, allowing the things that didn't work for you kind of get you stuck in the past. Okay, then we have the Knight of Swords clarifying the Lovers. Well, Knight of Swords, it's again, slow down, don't rush, don't be aggressive, you know, don't like really watch what you're saying, you know, because, and then when it comes to Lovers, right, like making a choice, making a commitment, it really asks you to be very deliberate in your choice. It really asks you to not be impulsive with your choice, and not be more rational about it. And not be kind of not just like, oh, I just want it, like I got it, I know. No, it's take your time. Then we have the Judgment clarifying the Six of Swords in reversed. I think really this is where, if you're allowing yourself the time to reflect, if you're allowing yourself the time to let things unravel the way they naturally would, you will see things for what they are, and you would really see things for, you know, like the commitments and the relationships and the possible partners for what they are. Then we have the Five of Cups clarifying the Ace of Cups in reverse. Well, again, going back to what's been said earlier, it's for some of you that in relationships, it's like, you know, we said that maybe you realize that the relationship is no longer fulfilling for you, and you're kind of left in the cold, and then you're left standing alone, and then you're left that all of this relationship is on your shoulders now, and you know, and kind of feeling sad about it, versus really more like looking at like, well, you know what, I also have responsibility in this. I am the one in charge of my own happiness. You know, like why, you know, it's not always, you shouldn't be waiting for other people to make you happy when you have the power to make yourself happy, and all you have to do is just change that perspective, you know, change how you think about things and how you see things. Because the Five of the Cups, it's all about emotions, right? And we have the Ace of Cups in reversed, fulfillment, new relationships, new beginnings. And then we have the Five of Cups, which is regret, change. So it's kind of almost like looking back and like being regretful on the relationship. But, you know, like, was it really that bad? You know, really, is it really that bad? You know, and if it is, what can you do to change it? What can you do to make it better? What can you do about yourself to make it better? You know, then let's see what we have for the Ace of Swords. We have the Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles clarifying the Eight of Swords. So when we said about temptation here too, you know, I think there might be something that might be offered to you. Maybe you might have like a potential suitor that's a little younger than you, that would be, oh, I have all of these things, you know, I can offer you all of these things, you know, and they can, like, maybe in a way it's like might offer you like a way out, if that makes sense. But you kind of have to be careful of what they're really offering. In a way, I mean, overall it's a good card, but you really have to be careful of what that offer is, because then we have the Seven of Swords clarifying justice, you know. Well, I think this is a good thing to end, because the end of the month, because we have, you know, I think Seven of Swords, it's somebody that's being sneaky, somebody that, but they're gonna be caught, you know, whatever they do. And see, like this, the rope here, he's just stepping right into it. They're gonna be caught. I think for you, gonna be really, at the end of the month, you're gonna discern. You're gonna be really discerning about behaviors, about the different partners you have, I mean different potential partners. And maybe also, if you are in a committed relationship, I think you will be able to see things for what they are, your partners for what they are, and then really call them out on that behavior that is damaging the relationship, that is damaging how you feel and how much you can give in the relationship and how much they're giving in the relationship. So, you know, justice will be served. But let me pull some clarifiers, not clarifiers, I'm sorry, some oracle cards for an additional message for you. And let's see what's gonna happen. What other messages come through for you, Cancer? Time to go. Okay, time to go, and we have time for a nap. So time to go and time for a nap. I think this is for, it's kind of like a double message, and it applies to, someone applies for one category and then the other applies for a different category. I think that time for a nap is for you that are dating and you want to commit to one partner. I think that's where you really being led to these two cards, where it's really slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Don't rush, don't rush, don't rush. And kind of take it easy. Let things unravel on their own. But also be mindful of how people behave, what they're saying, how they're saying, when they're saying, you know, and the things that they do and the things that they don't do. That's why you kind of have, you know, to let things take their natural course and kind of go with the flow around this time. Don't force anything. And for others of you, I think I'm going back to this, that you, for you that realize that the relationship is no longer fulfilling, it is time to go. It is time to make changes, you know, and make changes not only maybe just by letting go of the relationship, but maybe letting go of maybe different notions of how you see relationships, and then really how you see fulfillment and happiness. Like, who's responsible for that? I think for me, time to go, it's really letting go of those notions of who's supposed to make me happy, you know, and putting that on somebody else versus taking that responsibility onto yourself. And then for some of you, it's also very little. It's a message of just really letting go of the relationships from the past, letting go of the hurt that you felt from the past, accepting change, moving on, and moving on to a more fair relationship, fair commitment, and something that is more equal and more on the level that you deserve. Well, Cancer, I'll leave you with that. And I wish you a really, really great month. And if this video resonated with you, please like and comment. And if you want to book a reading, you can always go to my website or just DM me on Instagram. That's it for now, Cancer, and I'll see you in April. Bye.